Yesterday I was talking to a client of mine, and it dawned on me that the interviews are great and I love them and I'm going to keep on doing them. But I really miss that connection in talking to you. Yes, you on the other side. And I know that this is kind of sort of like a one way because I'm just communicating with you in a very specific manner. But what I saw was there's still a lot of people, and there's still going to be a lot of people that have a lot of passion for the things that they like, and they feel that they're stuck in a position that they don't like, and they cannot seem to find a way out. They like to help other people, they want to be successful. There's incredible genius that is going to waste in these people, and at times is due to family or society constructs that make somebody believe, hey, I cannot do this, or this is not the right time, or I'm not qualified enough, or whatever that might be. So basically I decided just to go at it alone again in a very small rant, very much like in my first two episodes, which if you have not listened, go back to it and listen to those, and just discuss a little bit like, where are you today? This is going to be an episode that is more into self-reflection than anything else. And this is for the people that at times feel a little bit unfulfilled, or somewhat a little dissatisfaction where you are today with your life, or if you feel frustrated because you didn't get that promotion, or you feeling self-doubt because, again, somebody told you that you might not be enough, or that you're not 100% trained for that position, or you're just not simply ready, or that your career path is not taking you there, or whatever that might be, right? So all of that causes a little bit of paralysis. It causes self-doubt. It turns into you becoming a little bit self-critical. And we're the worst critics of ourselves. That causes in some people to become more risk adverse. And you start not trusting yourself. And then obviously you go into a cycle of becoming dissatisfied. At times it can turn into you actually underperforming at work, becoming inconsistent, and being, your mind is diluted through the day because your mind is somewhere else, right? And you're having just some negative thoughts, and you're just not your current self. So as I was saying, talking yesterday to one of my clients, it became very apparent that it's just good to talk about this kind of stuff openly and throw a couple things at you. Today, again, as I said, it's just for self-reflection, right? If you feel stuck, if you feel that you're in a state of paralysis or unclear or not super confident and you feel doubt, or the progress that you make towards your goals is just not as expected, or if you cannot find what is your true north, what your goals are, then this podcast is for you. And in terms of like, how do I get, my next move, my next promotion? How do I launch my next project? Why do I keep on getting passed on that promotion? Am I a good fit for the corporate world, right? Or am I a good fit as an entrepreneur? Should I start my own company and jeopardize my career with the move that I'm not super convinced about? How exactly do I start my company? How do exactly I get that promotion that I'm looking for? When is a good time to start my own company, right? Timing is everything at times. How do I get the financial means to kickstart my company? So these are a lot of questions that actually do fuel that self-doubt. How do I take care of my family as I start this up? Will I succeed, right? Is there a secret formula to avoid failure? Where can I get a methodical approach to getting that promotion or, starting that company? Is there a step-by-step guide? Who has done it before is actually one of the most critical questions that you can ask yourself, because then you have a point of reference, for example. But mind you, like most of the questions that I have just mentioned to you, they are putting your brain into a very negative mindset, because it fuels your self-doubt, it destroys your self-esteem, and it causes some anxiety, and by all means, it will cause you some paralysis. So one of the questions that I was asking a second ago was, is this the right time, right? Which again, I said timing is everything. And the reason that I said that is not because you need to find the perfect time to kickstart your project, is that because if you don't start, you will never find the perfect time. So the perfect time is now. That's what I was saying. That timing is everything. That doesn't mean that if you want a promotion, you're going to go ahead and apply tomorrow, but you need to start working on that today. You need to start working on that plan today. How does that look like? Well, try to identify the gap. Try to identify where you are today and what knowledge you need to acquire to get that promotion, to be considered. What network do you need to build around yourself just to get to the next step? Or if you're thinking, hey, I want to start my company, I don't even know where to go. I know that I need to, secure an LLC and all that stuff, but then what? Or you need to build your website to sell your services or products, and then what? Well, there's several ways that you can do that. Number one is see what other people have done before, right? So you can actually build your own step-by-step guide, if you will, by understanding what processes they went through to get things done. Another way that you can do that, if you don't have a point of reference, is, as I was saying before, see who have done it and interject yourself in their life. Look somebody up in LinkedIn, send them a message. Yeah, and you don't have to ask for, the entire recipe on how things are done, but you can say, hey, I would like you to mentor me. I look up to you. I've seen your success. I've seen your trajectory. I've seen what you have done. And, I look up to you as a professional. Is there any chance that you can mentor me for X amount of time, one call a week, one message a week, whatever that might look like? You can find what that setup looks like for you to become successful. So with that said, I think that the absolute major takeaway is you are going to have questions. Absolutely. You're not going to have all your answers. I mean, and we talk about this in prior podcasts, just having about 80% of the answers or so, it's good enough. The question is, how do you get to that 80%? How do you get to a point that you're satisfied and not super afraid of moving forward? Mind you, you're always going to be a little bit afraid. You're always going to have some doubts. But if you keep on thinking that you need everything at 100% fully baked, fully cooked, you will never take that first step. So from my point of view, what I've done, and I launched a couple of brands in the past, and here I am launching a couple more. What I have done in the past that have worked very, very well for me is, number one, understand that the best time to start something that you're passionate about is now. Don't wait. Number two, build a plan. Build a plan for execution, right? And understand what are all the components of that plan that you need to execute it properly till you launch and further out if you need to. That doesn't mean that the plan needs to be super extensive, and that doesn't mean that the plan needs to be all comprehensive. And then follow through. Just don't quit. Things are going to get rough. Your life is going to be difficult. My life is difficult. Everybody's life is difficult. I personally wake up at 4 a.m. in the morning to do what I'm passionate about. For example, recording podcast, or just doing the post-production of the podcast, or just building my revenue engine funnel, things like that. So I dedicate that time for myself from 4 to 8 a.m. in the morning. Those are the 4 most productive hours of the day for me. And then I go along with my day. But the reason why I do that early in the morning is to avoid interruptions. Now, granted, I don't get interrupted because nobody else is awake at 4 a.m. in the morning working like I do. And I'm not suggesting that you have to do that. What I'm suggesting is find what works for you and follow through, right? So don't do it just once, just follow through, be consistent. Consistency is the key to this. That's what I'm saying. Don't quit. Don't put a big effort at the beginning and then quit 2 weeks later or a month later when things get rough and difficult. You're not going to have all the answers. So find the right mentor, find a coach, find somebody that can help you, and make sure that that is the right person, right? So if you are, I'm going to make this up, but if you're launching a podcast, see who has done it efficiently and research what they have done and take it from there. Granted, if you're going to be just looking at 1, 2, 3 podcasts, you're not going to be able to understand are those the best that there are. So again, do your research, but don't get stuck in the research. Don't get stuck in the planning area either. Take action. So get off the couch, make a plan, Execute with consistency. Don't quit. And build your tribe. Like I always say, make sure that you surround yourself with people that are clever, that are intelligent, that they know what they're doing. And like Chris, I was saying in one of the podcasts before, Chris Peterson with Shower Toga, they don't necessarily need to be smart in the same area that you are smart. They just need to be smart to help you out. They need to be smart to lift you up. When I say help you out, it's not that they're going to lend you a hand, lend you money, do things for you. It's more about they're intelligent enough that when you talk to these people, there's always going to be a lesson learned, something that there's a takeaway, something that you can bring back with you and apply, whether that is in your life or at work or in your enterprise, or you can bring to a friend. It's always uplifting. I'm a true believer that if somebody is not lifting you up, you probably might want to replace that person with somebody that does. It's very reasonable, it's very normal for anybody to be afraid. It's very normal just to have doubts. It's very normal that we're going to feel that internal nudge to do something, but we're also going to feel our brain telling us, hey, be careful, you're about to get in trouble. Our brain is wired that way to keep us alive, right? Our brain is constantly in survival mode. So our brain is going to red flag everything that might take you out of your comfort zone. But remember, growth happens out of your comfort zone. Nobody ever have grown by staying in the exact same place that they were yesterday, that they're today, and planning on staying there forever. So just understand what is your comfort zone and what makes you uncomfortable, obviously, and try to push yourself, not in a suicidal business mode and going, if you're a manager, don't try to go for vice president of a company or CEO. You have to go through all the stages from manager to probably senior manager, then director, then VP, and then senior VP, and then CEO of the company. I mean, granted, that those are the logical steps. So if you're looking into progressing your career, make sure that's part of the plan, that is progressive, right? But don't feel that you're stuck where you are. Just do something today and consistently throughout to make sure that you're achieving your goals. But you also need to be super clear. The very first step is to be super clear about what are your goals, what is your north, what motivates you, right? So just establish something that is going to be your goal that you're going to be working towards to. And that has to come from very much deep inside of you. I don't know, selling bread because it's going to make you money. Well, that's fine. But at the end of the day, are you really passionate about that, or are you passionate about something else? If your goal is to make $1 million and you find that selling bread is going to make you those $1 million, then that's great. Go for it. But usually what I would recommend is looking into what are you really passionate about, and then establishing the goals moving forward from that point, because that's what's going to make you happy from now till the end of days. And I will start working towards that. I mean, I have seen many people, and I was one of them, that was looking to a career progression that it was logical. But I never thought, is this really making me happy? It was logical for me. I went from project manager to senior project manager to agile delivery manager, and it was all related to delivering projects. But really what I really care for is seeing people succeed, which has absolutely nothing to do with delivering projects. Now, if the projects do get delivered, then people were happy, but were they really passionate about what they were doing? That was the key to it. I was not passionate about delivering products. I was passionate about seeing people succeed. And with that in mind, I started humanizing the process of project delivery. And that's how I became pretty much successful at what I was doing. It was just treating people like they were people instead of just resources. That's what I don't like, the term human resources. But with that said, I mean, I found my passion, and then I adjusted my career based on what my real passion was. And here I am today, just talking to you. A long time ago, I talked to this kid, and his passion was animals, right? Like most of the kids, they do like animals. And I would say probably at a minimum 3 out of 10, if you ask them when they're young, what do they want to do when they grow up, they will usually tell you, some of them, they will say, I want to be a veterinarian, right? Because they like animals, they like fluffy animals, they like bunnies, and they like all those kind of like dogs, cats, etc. So I encourage this kid to literally follow his passion and at least to get a job in a veterinary or animal care of sorts, so he can get some experience with that and see if he really enjoyed it or not. Because at times we make a projection of what, you know, a job will look like, and then you find out that not everything is fluffy bunnies and unicorns. So just try it out, test the water, see if what you really think something is, if that is true. Because the constructs that we make in our mind also, they might not be all 100% accurate. So find your passion, set some goals so you ensure that you're somewhat aligned your passions with your goals, and then that usually translates into happiness for the most part. Even if you're not making a lot of money, for a lot of people, making money is not exactly their goal in life. And then after you set up those goals, just follow through. Things are going to be rocky. Things are not going to be super easy. Just follow through. Don't quit. Be consistent. You know, if you're planning on giving it X amount of effort a day or a week, don't quit. Just keep on going. And again, just consistency throughout. It's super key to this. And surround yourself with people that will lift you up, that will help you move forward one step at a time, that can build you up, and that can help you achieve who you really want to be. Bye-bye.